Hour number 3 upon us. Welcome to the early signing period edition of what we hope is your favorite sports talk radio program, Idaho Sports Talk, Prater The Ballgame. Breaking news. Boise State just announcing this 6 minutes ago by Sports Information Director Craig Lawson. Prater, bring it.
Spencer Danielson, Boise State defensive coordinator, is going to stick around for 2 more years. Just signed a contract with the Broncos and the football team in Andy Avalos. It's a 2-year contract, $425,000 this coming season and $450,000 the following season, a total of $875,000 over the next 2, making him the highest paid assistant in Boise State football history. Just like the NFL quarterbacks, Bush Hamdan had that honor for about 4 or 5 days. He got $400,000 and $425,000 for his 2 years. So Boise State's 2 offensive and defensive coordinators, or their 2 coordinators, are going to make about $1 million a year, somewhere in that department. Maybe throw in a couple of bonuses here and a cheeseburger there. Boise State is stepping up to the plate. Jeremiah Dickey is doing what he said he would do, coming up with this new money. Now, I don't know how much new money, because obviously with Keith Bonifaz and the 2 coordinators, you're looking at a serious chunk of cash, probably about half of Boise State's salary assistant pool of 2.15, which is what it's been in the past. Now, Jeremiah Dickey's told me in the past, that's not a cap. That's a floor. That's a minimum. That's not a maximum. So they can go off and pay whatever that they want to pay, whatever they can afford. And Jeremiah Dickey is saying that he's out there raising cash and trying to take care of these contracts. And today he came through, and Spencer Danielson, your defensive coordinator, is at Boise State for year number 7 and year number 8.
They're paying coaches, man.
They're trying their butts off.
You know, that's good news. Yeah, they're paying their coaches, and Spencer Danielson's making more than Bush now. Just a couple
bucks. As he should.
A couple bucks. Yeah, I guess as he should. Yeah.
I mean, they both have the same kind of experience, but Danielson's been here for 6 years, man. I mean, that's a long time.
Think about this, too. Like, I remember when, Harsin wanted him at Auburn. He did. Offered him the defensive line coach position for about this amount of cash. Spencer Danielson said, no, I want to be a defensive coordinator. And heck, he had a kid on the way, and people just like living here. You know, there's something to be said for that. We talked, me and you, kind of double teamed Bush Hamdan today. And, he talked about part of the reason he came back. It's just him and his family to raise their kids. He's got 2 and 1 on the way in this town, in this community. That's worth more than a dollar amount for a lot of these guys. And yeah, Spencer Danielson, breaking news, has agreed to a new 2-year contract that's going to make him the highest paid assistant coach, as Prater said, in the history of Boise State football. Pretty cool.
While we were talking to Bush Hamdan, he did break the news about George Holani that all signs indicate he is coming back to Boise State for another season at running back. We're going to hear that audio in a second. As soon as Ballgame and I, we kind of tag teamed Bush and did that interview together. And then as soon as we got done with that, I went and talked to Spencer Danielson. You went and talked to Keith Bonifaz about George Holani. But I asked Spencer Danielson, are you coming back? I flat out said, I know these questions are difficult, but it's that time of year where we have to ask, are you coming back? And here's what Spencer Danielson said.
It's that time of year for coaches, even for my wife, right? It's that time of year, and it's a testament to our players. When you have success, there's options, and that's just what it is in life. And so obviously, first off, I'm so thankful for the group I was able to coach. It's all them. But for me, I love being here. And I tell the players that, I tell recruits that. I don't have a crystal ball. I can tell them I'm never going to leave here. But I do know right now there's been a lot of opportunities. There's been a lot of different phone calls and interest. And for me right now, I pray about it, and I love being here. I love this group of kids. I love the area we live in. I love the community. Since I've been here, they've done nothing but open their arms to us, from the community to the players. And I feel called to this place. I love this place, and so that's where I'm at right now. I am committed to this group, and I love coaching them, and I'm excited of where we're going to continue to build in the future. And although these are crazy times, it is just that way for coaches, especially when you have a group that's done really well. But I love being here, and I love being here. I love these kids, and I am committed to this group.
And he did a good job. You can't argue that with that defense this year. They ranked 17th out of 131 teams in points per game given up. And, next year's going to be challenging as well. We'll see what he has coming back. But I like where you said this to me, if Jeremiah Dickey, who, by the way, was wearing Jordans today, it was a casual day for JD. He's the coolest dressed athletic director in the country. We're all at the press conference. It was at the Jump. And I can't remember the name of the room.
The Inspire Room.
It looks beautiful. It was a great view of downtown, and we're all in there today. And JD kind of comes in with his workout pants, his sweats, and his warm-ups, and his coffee, and he's rocking his Jordans. And if he was in here right now, I'd give him a big high five, because like JD, you said you wanted to do all this stuff, and it's not like he's just had a ton of money thrown his way. Yeah, okay, 8 people said they'd give him $1 million. Yeah, better than anybody's done around here. But he's asking for $325 million to build this dream center, and he's got 8, right? He's got a long way to go. But on this one and on some of this stuff, he's keeping his coaches here. That has always been such a big challenge for this program. I go back to when Chris Peterson had Brian Harsin and Justin Wilcox as his DCs. And slowly but surely, they just keep leaving and getting jobs, not even head coaching jobs. I think Wilcox left here to go to Tennessee to be the DC in Knoxville for like $1 million. Harsin went with Mac Brown to Texas for like $1 million. Jeremiah Dickey is keeping these guys here. And again, I'm not a Boise State fan, but if I was, I love where this direction is going with this athletic director, and I just hope like hell we could keep him in this town, Jeremiah Dickey, for a while, Prater. But this is as if there wasn't anything else for us to stinking talk about today. JP, I'm sorry, man. We got to take this show till 7:00 tonight.
Here's a sad indication of how my mind works. As I was interviewing Spencer Danielson during that interview, my mind kept thinking, I like Spencer Danielson a lot. He's a good human being.
Yeah.
I really like him an awful lot. He's a really personal, good-looking, good human being.
Good looking.
Good looking.
He's
too,
good looking too.
He's a good looking guy.
Guy.
I mean, he always asks you personal questions. How you doing? How's the holidays? How's the family? It's nice. It's cool. And I kept thinking to myself, I don't want to dislike Spencer Danielson, because he's sitting here telling me that he wants to stay, that he loves this place. And I just kept thinking, I hope I don't get a press release like in 4 days saying he's gone somewhere else. Because I just don't want to come back and have to just like, be careful how you choose your words, Spencer, because I don't want to have to come back and say, you dirty scumbag, you lied to us.
How many times have we got that, right?
I know, it happens all the time.
Yeah.
Spencer Danielson is different, and I think Boise State just figured that. They didn't just figure that out. They've known that, and today they paid the man. And that's cool. And now my mind can rest. I don't have to come back and say, you dirty dog, you. He didn't tell me that, in 2 hours we were going to get a brand new contract extension. I saw the ink on that contract already. It's dried. He knew that it was happening, but he obviously had to wait for it to be officially announced. It was a pretty cool deal. JP, before we get out of here, let's play that Bush Hamdan clip that Johnny and I got talking to him today about George Jelani. That was the other big piece of breaking news. We played that entire interview at 3:00. It's available at KTIK.com. Right now, it's already up, and it's on your app. It already should be on your app, but don't leave us now. JP, play that George Jelani clip from Ballgame and myself.
Certainly, all signs leading to George being back, and I think that'd be huge for us.
There it is, right there. We talked to him, Prater. You asked the question, about the backs and everything, and he said all signs leaning to George coming back. I talked with Keith Bonifal. We don't have that clip. He didn't say as much about it as Bush did, but actually, you did play that, JP. I'm sorry, you did play the Bonifal clip where he basically said, hey, we're never going to push a guy like George Jelani out. If he wants to come back, he can stay. We're going to welcome him. And if that is the case, and you keep Jelani on this puzzle of maybe the only significant piece of the offensive puzzle that you're going to lose is going to be John Ojukwu. Everybody else possibly comes back on this thing. It's tough not to get the excitement train choo-chooing right now, Prater, on this offense next season, especially with Bush. And I want to see Bush implement some old Chris Peterson philosophies of this offense kind of before the 2010 era. And we'll see what Bush is going to do in that regard. But man, dare I say, Bush is probably going to have more to play with and more to use offensively here than maybe he would have had at Mizzou, as crazy as that sounds. But
as it sits right now, he's definitely got a lot of toys to play with.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that. So I think it's going to be pretty good. It's been a really nice couple of days for Boise State, a bowl victory, a bowl trophy, a 10th win. Today, 22 new football players. We've introduced you to a lot of them. We're going to get to Brandon Huffman here in a minute, the National 247 recruiting guru, to talk about the class as a whole. Now they're keeping their defensive coordinators. So life is good. I think Andy Avalos is, he's just like one of us. He's got a bunch of nonsense on his desk. He's trying to just get rid of it all, clear it all out, get the work basket taken care of so we can get the hell home for the holidays.
I think so, guys. Speaking of the holidays, the weather is colder. Your pets, well, they're hanging out more in the house these days, aren't they? How about Zamzows? How about Zamzows having the largest selection of pet supplies, treats, beds, and more? And you got 13 locations across the Treasure Valley. When it comes to keeping your pet warm and happy, nobody knows like Zamzows. JP next. Brandon Huffman. Nobody knows more about high school football and recruiting than the national editor of recruiting at 24/7 Sports. He's up next.
From the Beacon Plumbing Traffic